What's up, and welcome to another edition of Locked On NBA, the biggest stories with the local experts. I'm your host, Jackson Gatlin, also host of Locked On Rockets right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Today, we'll be chatting with Nick Angstadt from Locked On Mavs as the Dallas Mavericks even their series at 2 games apiece against the Phoenix Suns behind 26 points and 11 assists from Luka Doncic, 8 threes from Dorian Finney-Smith, and some foul trouble with one Christopher Emmanuel Paul. But first, quick message from our friends over at Built Bar, because when it comes to protein bars, you've got to check out Built Bar. They're the #1 protein bar on the market. I've got so many incredible flavors to choose from. You got raspberry, you got strawberry, cookies and cream, salted caramel, mint chocolate brownie, coconut brownie chunks, my personal favorite. You just can't go wrong with a single bar on their menu. Every single bar is low cal, low sugar, high protein, high fiber. Amazing if you're on a keto diet. Amazing if you're trying to cut back a little bit, lose a little bit of weight. You can check them out. Just go to built.com and use promo code LOCK15 to get 15% off your very next order of the best tasting protein bars on the market. Again, that's promo code LOCK15 for 15% off at built.com. Joining us now is Nick Angstadt from Locked On Mavs and Locked On NBA. You can follow on Twitter at Nick Van Exit. Nick, Dallas Mavericks tie up the series, 2 games apiece, and the way they did it in this game, we're going to get into a lot of the shenanigans with the officiating and all of that in this game, but the Mavericks came out with a really, they roared out to a big start in this one, 37-25 start in the first quarter, dropped 68 points in the first half of this game. That matches their highest point total throughout the playoffs, easily their best first half in this series so far against the Suns. You know, what was working so well for them offensively in the first half of this game?
Gotta throw that in there. The Dallas Mavericks they found a little bit here, but the 3-point shooting was what got them in the first half. We had not seen a game this series so far where the Mavs just bombed from 3 and were just absolutely on fire. We had not seen that yet. And so in the first half, the Mavericks they hit 14 threes. They're 14 out of 24 their threes. They had Dorian hitting threes and Davis Bertans coming in and hitting threes and doing something. And it was that 3-point shooting that just really kept them in. And then on the other side, their defense has been just good enough. The Suns have been shooting, 50% or better from the field every single game in the playoffs. And they finally, these last 2 games the Mavericks have won, have held them to 46 or 44% from the field. I mean, it's not even an incredible percentage, but they've just been able to hold them down just a little bit and force them to do things they don't want to do just a little bit more. And that difference has been enough for the Mavericks to get wins.
Doing just enough on the defensive side to be able to eke out these past couple wins. But a big part of this game 4 here was Chris Paul missing such a significant portion of this game, very uncharacteristically for Chris Paul, picking up some very strange fouls, we'll say, his 4th, 5th, and 6th fouls here. Maybe phantom fouls, maybe some bad officiating here at play. I'm going to let you be the judge of that here, but Chris Paul picked up his 4th foul just before halftime, had his 5th foul not even 3 minutes into the 3rd quarter, and then fouled out with a little under 9 minutes to go in this game. And that really did change the complexion of this game completely for the Suns.
Chris Paul over the last 2 games has honestly been probably the biggest reason why the Mavs have won these last 2. You want to give a ton of credit to the Mavericks. You want to give credit to their shooters. You want to give credit to their defense, their culture. Luca, Brunson doing good things over the last 2 games. But Chris Paul just falling off. The 7 turnovers he had in game 3. And then the 6 fouls fouling out, like you said, in this game. I mean, he just has been a non-factor, which is wild to say. The way that Chris Paul has been playing in these playoffs, for him to be a non-factor has been huge for the Phoenix Suns. And if you want to go through each of his fouls, did he deserve every single one of those fouls? Probably not. There's some of those the fouls all over the place in this game 4 were just brutal. They were just calling everything, calling a lot of ticky-tack stuff here and there. And I think that Luca and Brunson adjusted to that a little bit better than Chris Paul and Devin Booker did, because Chris Paul he got his 3rd foul and got taken out with 2 minutes to go in the half. And then he comes back in with 48 seconds left in the first half. And he tries to go for an offensive rebound against Luca, where Luca obviously has the advantage on the play. Chris Paul jumps and then he bodies with Luca, and he gets called for the offensive foul. It's these dumb fouls that this ref crew was calling all game. Usually, another ref crew may have let that one slide, but they didn't. So he's just putting himself in a bad situation. Then he gets his 5th foul by doing the Chris Paul play. He got by Jalen Brunson, where Chris Paul is he has 4 fouls. and he can't get like his fifth foul. If he gets his fifth foul, he's gonna be taken out of the game for a long time. And what he does is in transition, he knows where Jalen Brunson is behind him. He has the ball in his hands, and he changes direction on the court to go in front of Jalen Brunson, stops and slows down. And then Jalen Brunson falls into him, and they call, and it's basically right there. It's a bang bang play. The ref gets to decide essentially who he's going to side with on this. They side with Brunson. That's Chris Paul's fifth foul. Then he goes out for a while, and then his sixth foul was dumb. He probably shouldn't got called for it, but another situation he probably shouldn't have been in. And it's like, if you're going to keep doing all the Chris Paul stuff, like all the Chris Paul little things that he tries to do and pull off and get away with, this ref crew specifically was not going to have it. And you could tell early on that this ref crew was not going to have it. And after the game, Jason Kidd had an incredible quote where he was talking about, we're learning from the best. Some of these things that we're getting away with, we're looking across and watching what Chris Paul does, and we're just learning from the best over here. That was an incredible troll quote from Jason Kidd.
Yeah, those little Chris Paul isms, sometimes they work out in your favor, and like foul number 5 for CP3 in this one, it just did not work out this time for him. But you look at how Luca played specifically in this game here, Nick, and the efficiency wasn't quite there, unfortunately, for Luca. Just 9 of 25 from the floor, 1 of 10 from 3, despite the fact that you had Dorian Finney-Smith, who could not miss from 3 in this game. You had Luca, who just couldn't hit anything from 3. So is there a bit more some confidence here moving forward in this series that you can come away with a win of this caliber for the Mavericks here in Game 4, despite the fact that Luka didn't have like one of his all-around like super phenomenal performances?
This Mavericks team has always just been a little bit better, and I think most basketball teams are just better when they share the ball a little bit more, right? When guys get to touch it, guys get a couple shots here and there. You look at even the fourth quarter, Brunson took 6 shots, Luka took 6 shots, and it kind of comes down to Brunson. It's Brunson trying to create his own stuff. It's Brunson. The Mavericks in Game 3 really made it a point early on to get Brunson his touches, get Brunson his attempts, get Brunson his drives, and they kind of cleared out for him and let him do his own thing and try and get something going. And so they did that in this game a little bit more in Game 4. And when Luka has like 20 something points and 11 assists, it's a much better game for the Mavericks than when Luka has like 40 points and like 3 assists. That's just the way that it is, because he's kicking out to 3-point shooters for the most part, and if he's getting assists, then they're knocking him down. And so but the other thing is, Luka didn't change anything really about his game. Like, his usage percentage is probably going to be about the same. His attempts were about the same. He's not really changing too much about what he's doing. The shots just didn't go down for him in this game. And so, I don't know, do the Mavs have another level to go to? Like, can they still have a game where they share the ball like they have been the last 2 games, and then Luka also shoots a good percentage? I mean, that's just a Mavericks team that's really hard to stop.
Yeah, what I wonder is, can we have a game where Luka goes for 30 or 40 plus and somebody else manages to go for 20 plus next to him? Because the recipe for success seems to be Luka have a good game and then have at least one random Maverick of the role players step up and go for 20 plus. And that tends to work out pretty well for them, at least so far these playoffs. But Nick, when you look at just one of the mismatches here, maybe in favor of the Phoenix Suns, is their size, their length. They've had Deandre Ayton, they've had JaVale McGee, and they've won the rebounding battle in all 4 of these games. But in this Game 4 specifically, it really felt like the Mavericks did a really good job kind of crashing the offensive glass, being a little aggressive, in the rebounding department. How have you felt that they've really matched up with and dealt with the size from the Phoenix Suns in this game specifically, and just across the entirety of the series?
Yeah, the Mavs don't care about rebounds, really. Like, they're going to get beat on the rebounding edge. Isaac Harris, my co-host on Locked On Mavs, has been bringing it up every single game. It's like, hey, the Mavs won this game, and guess what? They got beat on the rebounds. They got out-rebounded. They got out-rebounded by the Jazz. And what the Mavericks have to do, though, is limit the offensive rebounds. And so the Suns got 12 in this game, but the Mavericks got 10 of their own offensive rebounds. And so it's limiting those attempts, and it's team rebounding. You just have to send multiple guys at Ayton, the same way they did in the first round against Gobert. You just have to send multiple guys at him. Ayton finished with 11 rebounds. He had 6 offensive rebounds. A couple of them, those were putbacks, but like, they limited him in a way that wasn't like a dominating thing from Ayton. And that rebounding battle has not necessarily been a thing that is going to either, I don't know, hurt the Mavs too much that they can't win the game in other areas of the game.
All right. Well, last thing here, Nick. I mentioned him earlier, Dorian Finney-Smith having an incredible game here. I've got to give you a second to highlight just how important he was for the Mavericks in this one, going, for 24 points, 8 of 12 shooting from the floor in this one to help them in their Game 4 win.
Oh, Dorian was by far the
hot man, the hot player.
He was the hot man, the hot player. Watching Dorian Finney-Smith over the course of his career, and my first year covering the Mavericks, I was still in college and I was, wanted to cover a team and I got credentials and I went to practices, was Dorian's rookie year. And just seeing how this man has come from a 30% three-point shooter and like a really shaky shooter in his first couple years in the NBA to this knockdown 8 of 12 from 3 in this game 4, like in a playoff game. He was leading the Mavericks in scoring for most of the game. To see him go from that player in his first couple of years to this player has been absolutely incredible. There is not a player in the NBA I'm more biased towards, even Luca. Like, I'm way more biased towards Dorian, and we'll say nice things about Dorian because he's the heart and soul of this Mavericks team. He is kind of what Draymond is to the Warriors, like in some way. But Dorian can actually hit threes, which is pretty nice. But he also had 5 offensive rebounds, but he gets everybody together. There's a couple plays where the Suns started to get going offensively. Luka missed an assignment, and Dorian is just clapping at everybody, pointing and showing where they need to be. And then you look back at Luka, and he just was like, "Come on, let's go. You got to get engaged. You got to be in this." And Dorian has that cachet now with Luka because he's played with him his entire career. They have that trust between them, and Dorian has been like the vocal leader on this team, and it's been incredible to watch his development.
The series is shifting back to Phoenix for Game 5. It's now a best-of-3 series. Can the Dallas Mavericks come out on top? You'll have us covered for all of that and more over at Locked On Dorian Finney-Smith. Oh, I'm sorry. No, Locked On Dallas Mavericks. Nick, appreciate you stopping by Locked On NBA with me.